Steph Curry's health has become the focal point of concern for the Golden State Warriors, with a star guard dealing with what had been diagnosed as a pelvic contusion following a hard fall in last night's game against the Toronto Raptors. The injury occurred in the third quarter as Curry attempted to navigate through a congested lane, ultimately colliding with multiple defenders before crashing onto the hardwood. The impact was severe enough that teammates and fans alike held their breath as the two-time MVP remained on the floor momentarily, visibly in pain. Despite the alarming scene, Curry managed to walk off under his own power, heading straight to the locker room. Warriors head coach Steve Kerr confirmed post-game that Curry underwent an immediate MRI, emphasizing that the team will take a cautious approach with their franchise cornerstone. "He wanted to come back in," Kerr revealed, "but we have to be smart about this." This is not the first time Curry has battled through injuries, having suffered a similar tailbone issue a couple of years ago. While his status for upcoming games remains uncertain, one thing is clear. Golden State must tread carefully with just 12 regular season games remaining and the Western Conference playoff race as tight as ever. Curry's absence looms large, but this is precisely why the Warriors made their mid-season move for Jimmy Butler. The veteran forward has been nothing short of a stabilizing force since his arrival, most recently delivering a triple-double against the Milwaukee Bucks while Curry rested. Butler's ability to command the offense and anchor the defense provides a level of security the Warriors have lacked in past seasons when Curry has been sidelined. With upcoming matchups against the Hawks, Heat, Pelicans, and Spurs, all winnable games, the Warriors have a rare luxury of allowing their superstar additional recovery time if necessary. Another key figure in Golden State's recent surge has been Draymond Green, who turned back the clock with a 21-point performance in the win over Toronto, his highest-scoring half since 2018. Green's energy was palpable from the opening tip, knocking down 5 three-pointers, a rare sight for the defensive-minded forward, while also contributing on both ends of floor. His impact extends beyond the stat sheet, as his defensive versatility and leadership will be crucial in Curry's absence. Over his last 5 games, Green has averaged 13.6 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2.2 steals, and 2.2 blocks, proving he remains an elite two-way force when locked in. His defensive prowess was on full display in a recent matchup against Milwaukee, where he held Giannis Antetokounmpo to just 4 of 8 shooting when guarding him directly. Against Toronto, Green showcases relentless motor, sprinting back to block an alley-oop attempt in transition, a play reminiscent of peak Draymond, evoking memories of his prime defensive performances. If he maintains this level of play, especially alongside Butler's well-rounded contributions, the Warriors remain a legitimate threat in the Western Conference. Golden State currently sits in 6th place, just a game and a half out of the play-in tournament, making Curry's health a pivotal factor in their postseason aspirations. The upcoming schedule provides a window to manage his recovery, but the final game of the season, a potentially crucial matchup against Clippers, could have significant playoff seeding implications. With the stakes rising, the Warriors must balance their push for a top 6 seed while ensuring their leader is fully prepared for the postseason grind. Curry's durability has been tested throughout the season, with minor ailments affecting his knees, hand, and lower back at various points. Warriors Director of Sports Medicine Rick Celebrini has played a critical role in managing the team's health, and his approach to Curry's latest injury could define Golden State's stretch run. Health is the real MVP, as the saying goes, and nowhere is that more evident than in the Warriors' current predicament. As Curry rests and recovers, the spotlight shifts to Butler, Green, and the supporting cast to keep the team afloat. Butler, the fastest player in Warriors history to record multiple triple-doubles, has seamlessly integrated into the system, providing playmaking and defensive intensity in Curry's absence. His ability to create opportunities for teammates was evident once again against Toronto, with Green benefiting from his presence. The Raptors aggressively top-blocked Curry, forcing Golden State secondary playmakers to step up, and Green took full advantage, showcasing his trademark chemistry with Curry before the injury. While the Warriors have thrived in adversity before, this latest challenge will test their depth and resilience. With the postseason on the horizon, the road ahead remains uncertain, but if Green continues his resurgence and Butler sustains his high-level play, Golden State's championship ceiling remains intact, provided Curry returns at full strength when it matters most.